Hi everyone, my name is Jake Greenberg. I am a licensed attorney in Texas, a former stand-up comedian, and an ex-delivery driver. So I did stand-up comedy for about 2 years. I did it for a year in high school and a year in college. And I never stopped writing, though. I always kept writing my jokes down. And now that everyone is quarantined and tensions are high, I figured I would go through some of my jokes and tell them all to you all and kind of work on them, refine them. And if I seem a little too natural talking to an empty room an empty room, it's because I had a lot of practice doing it. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I went to a Catholic high school. I went to Bishop Lynch in Dallas, Texas, and I didn't really fit in there. Last name Greenberg. I was kind of a punching bag on the wrestling team, uh, but I really wanted to fit in. I wanted to fit in with the other Catholic kids, and so I tried to convert. My first problem that I knew I would have problems with as a youth in Catholic high school was abstinence. So I picked up a pamphlet on how to remain pure and sexually abstinent during my high school years. And one of the first recommendations was that you write a love letter to your future spouse. And writing that love letter would help you imagine the comfort you will feel when you finally have someone that truly belongs to you and you belong to them. And I was really inspired by this idea. So I went home, I got out my computer, and I typed like 2 or 3 pages of a romantic letter to someone I had never met. And I printed it out, and I started to reread it for edits. And I realized I may have missed the point a little bit because like the first page is me trying to get my wife's hotter sister into a three-way. So I took another page from the pamphlet and I decided that I would get a purity ring. And a purity ring is supposed to be a constant reminder of how you are to remain pure until marriage. Problem was I'd lost it. Uh, I don't remember how. I remember I'd been drinking. Uh, I remember I was hooking up with this girl. Uh, I don't know. I don't really remember. All I know is she was saying I lost it at third base, so maybe it was like a baseball thing. I don't get it. Catholic high school was interesting, and here's some fun facts I learned about the Bible in Catholic high school. If you actually read the Bible, it skips over Jesus' life from age 18 to like 33 or 32. So pretty much the majority of Jesus' life we don't know anything about. But when I was in high school, we had recently discovered a new book of the Bible. Okay, this took place from ages 18 to 22, so Jesus' college years. And it's a very, very interesting read. They call it the Book of Jack due to the excessive amounts of drinking that Jesus did. And one of my favorite passages in the Book of Jack, uh, chapter 4, verse 20, is when Jesus miraculously sunk the final shot of beer pong, and in a moment of drunken haze, Jesus ripped off his shirt, jumped up on the beer pong table, and began to give a speech that would later become known as the Sermon off the Wagon. So if I can read to you from the Book of Jack. Do not make thy buddy choose between his friends and his girlfriend, because bros before hoes is but a euphemism for cock-blocking. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a nice guy to make it out of the friend zone. Come finals week, blessed are the geeks, for they shall inherit the earth. But after that, it's back to sport fucking their sisters. So while I was in high school, I was trying to decide what college to go to, and one of my top choices was LSU. And I had a really good friend that went to Louisiana, so I decided to take a trip up there and visit him, see what it was like. And I'm on the road and I'm driving down the highway, and I see this really pretty blonde girl in my rearview mirror. Okay, she's maybe a year or two older than me, and she's just got a very pretty face. And I want to stop and talk to her, but I can't because I'm driving. I'm not going to do something creepy like follow her, because at the time gas was like really expensive. So I think, how am I going to get her stopped? And I do the only rational thing, and I slammed on my brakes. And she rear ends me. So I get out of the car, I go over to the driver's seat, talk with her for a minute, exchange insurance information and phone numbers. But I never actually called her back, though, because her face is all messed up after the wreck. So I made it to LSU, minor car problems, nothing bad. But after I get there, my friend immediately takes me to a party where this woman starts kind of hitting on me. Okay, and I'm like, all right, college girl. I'm in high school at the time. She's a pretty brunette. We're flirting, I think. Things are going well. And then she says something that completely got me off guard. It took me out of the moment. She says, "Oh my God, you are so cute. You are just like my little brother." And I'm like, fuck, I've wasted all my time talking to this girl, and she thinks of me as a brother. So now I gotta go find someone else. But I stopped myself. I thought for a minute. I thought, I'm in Louisiana. She thinks of me as a brother. Maybe she's hitting on me. So I decided I'd stick it out, and hopefully her dad didn't already have dibs. And it turns out her dad's really cool, really nice guy, completely fine with sharing. Turned out great. But I didn't end up going to Louisiana. I didn't end up going to LSU. I ended up at Colorado State University. Went there for 3.5 years. And my first semester, I had a roommate. And me and him did not get along. Okay, my biggest problem with him was not that he drank like an Irish fish. It's not that there may have been krill living in his fat folds. It's not even that the name of his fraternity sounded like a damn Harry Potter spell. My biggest problem with Tom was that he was smarter than me. Okay, here's an example. One Saturday, I'd been drinking, and I don't normally drink, but I was drinking, and I walk into my dorm, and the dorm smells like whiskey. So I figured Tom was home. And sure enough, I see him passed out on the bed, barely covered by his blanket, just ass hanging out, and I don't know what came over me, but I threw up all over the ground. And I was just drunk enough to know that I'd fucked up and I needed to come up with a solution. So I came up with a solution, and then I went to bed. And woke up the next morning, Tom's still barely hanging off his bed. I put my plan into my action. I said, Tom, did you throw up on the fucking carpet? He glazed over eyes, looks at me, looks at the vomit on the carpet, looks back at me, says, "Nah, man, that ain't mine." I'm just stunned. I'm like, how did you know that, man? How did you know? How do you know? And he just starts talking. He's like, "'Cause I don't taste throw up in my mouth, and I don't taste my mint mouthwash, which is what I would use if I threw up. And I also, that kind of smells like gin, and I don't normally drink gin." And he pretty much comes up with this whole explanation that puts him out of the possibility, takes the possibility of him throwing out of the equation without actually saying, "I don't remember throwing up." And this whole algorithm comes out like he's an alcoholic Rain Man. Definitely corn in the vomit. Definitely corn. I didn't eat corn. I don't like corn. 13 pieces of corn. I'm an excellent driver. I'm an excellent drunk driver. So, I finished university, and now it's time for me to get a job. I had a degree in communication studies, so I decide the best place to go into work is the porn industry. So I applied to a very reputable company, and I went in for an interview, and the two guys interviewed. They loved me. They were very impressed that I got a full ride to college, but I had to explain that a full ride wasn't a sex thing, and then that kind of lowered their expectations. So I worked in the porn industry for about 2 years. Well, as a writer. I don't know, you may have seen my name at the ending of the credits, but not a lot of people make it through the end of a video, so I wouldn't be surprised if you never saw it. But I wrote a lot of very important lines in the industry. I wrote words and phrases like, oh, yeah, fuck me. Well, I didn't write fuck me. Joseph in the desk next to me wrote fuck me. I wrote, oh god, fuck me in my black ass. And Joseph really likes to hang that over my head. And all props go to the actors and actresses in the scenes because they really make the script come to life. You would think it's improvised, but it's not. Definitely my biggest accomplishment while working for the company was writing the Fargo porno. It was very, very easy screenplay to write, actually. It was just a lot of, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But I really enjoyed that job, and it's a shame that I lost it. Um, and I lost it because of creative differences. Um, I was brave enough and bold enough to ask the question, if there are so many porns with babysitters, how come there's never one where we see a kid? And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why we never see a kid in a porno with a babysitter. It's because art is dead, PC culture killed it, and I was fired. And even worse, I was replaced by an intern who didn't even look old enough to click the I agree button. He was a piece of shit named Jim. He was just a terrible choice. I actually had to supervise one of his scripts. And I don't know what schools are teaching kids these days, especially about writing. Like, he turned in this first draft for an interracial gangbang, and all that was on the page were like a half dozen eggplant emojis, a few hearts, and a girl with a single tear. But besides the writing, I feel like my college education really helped me as a pornographer, um, because sex is really all about psychology. And it's a little known fact that Freud. It's a little known fact that all of his books on psychology begin with the phrase, "Now I'm only speaking for myself here, but..." See, Freud said that every guy wants to have sex with their mom, and that every guy is ashamed of this fact. Now, it's also important to note that every scientist, every reputable scientist, have discredited this theory, which makes sense to me, because that's exactly what I would do if I was a scientist ashamed of wanting to have sex with my mom. I mean, doesn't anyone think it's strange? Like, all the scientists were at a conference, and some dude in a white coat is standing up next to a diagram and says, "So, here's the part of a brain scan. Here's the picture of a brain scan. And you can see right here on the frontal lobe, this part right here is why I do not want to have sex with my mom." And then like 12 other dudes stand up and say, "Hey, I have that spot too." And the next thing you know, there's a peer-reviewed article called "Freud the Fornicating Fraud, leave my MILF out of this." And science may say that Freud is wrong. That's their prerogative. But the trending section on Pornhub tells me he would have made more money as a producer. After my failed career as a pornographer, I decided to go to law school. And I didn't go to law school to help the common good or to do anything, ideal. I went for the bumper sticker. Because I feel like bumper stickers say a lot about a person. Particularly the more stickers you have on your car, the crazier you are. And I'm always aware of people with flags for bumper stickers. Because if you'll notice, there are a lot of American flags and Texas flags out on the road. And you want to be aware of those people. Because they've got... if you rear end someone with a Texas flag and a come and take it sticker, you don't know if your fender bender is going to be what sparks the revolution in their head and you end up on the side of that road. But this is true, I once saw a dude who'd park in my lot, and he had a Texas bumper sticker with the word "secede" written on it, and he had another bumper sticker that said "support our troops." And I'm just like, dude, you need to decide. But But I did go to law school for the bumper sticker. I got a St. Mary's School of Law bumper sticker because I feel like cops don't want to pull over a law student. And having a St. Mary's sticker on your car is kind of like having a Chihuahua as a guard dog. Not very effective. So I'm thinking about next year upgrading to a Harvard bumper sticker. See where that takes me. But right now we're all living in a very stressful time, and everyone's worried, panicking. So I decided I needed to relieve some anxiety, so I bought a bundle of sage. Because you're supposed to burn sage to relax, and let me tell you, I will never do that again. That was a mistake because do you know what does not help with stress? A fucking fire alarm. Burning sage smells like burnt hair, and not only the fucking stink, but sacred herbs do not protect you from your landlord. And the worst part isn't the fire alarm, it isn't the smell, it's that it's messy. I mean, I may have cleansed my apartment of any demons, or they may just be hiding under all that ash. I don't know. And tell me, why is it that after my place is purified, I feel like I need to vacuum? Another way I tried to relax was I watched an ASMR video. And I don't know if you know what an ASMR video is, but the idea is that it's supposed to arouse your brain with people whispering, kind of like this. Or they like brush their hair in front of a microphone. It's just weird shit, really. I mean, ASMR is like porn for boring people. It's actually worse than porn because I've never seen a video that made me feel quite as dirty as watching someone eat corn in front of a camera. And if you are going to have a fetish, that's fine. But now I'm actually concerned. Because I'm wondering how many people have gotten off from me just like whispering in their ear at the movies or at church. I mean, besides the priest of my Catholic school, but that's a different story. But, like, to be fair, I've read the comments section of these ASMR videos, and these people, they swear it's not a sexual thing. People say it just comforts them, and that they enjoy the intimacy, which is even creepier, honestly. It's like going to a strip club for the intimacy. Hey, babe, do you want to dance? Oh, yeah, I really like grinding on you. Yeah. This lap dance was brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron, where you can have ready-made meals delivered to your door, so you can eat them on camera for millions of weirdos. Another way I tried to eliminate stress in my life was to get a guided meditation app. You know, have someone talk me through meditation techniques, and I thought it would work better, but don't go for an app when the voice sounds like your ex-girlfriend, because that just brings you back to bad places. It's like, okay, find your center. Focus on the body as a whole, from the top of your forehead, down to your chest, through the legs, down to the toes. Now, let breath fill your body from head to toe. Breathe in. Why do you always try to contradict me in front of my friends, Jake? You don't always have to be right. It's okay to be wrong. You don't have to act like such a know-it-all all the time. Breathe out. Jake, you need to communicate more. Why are you always so closed off? I don't want to watch you play video games. Quit touching me there. I'm trying to sleep. No, my ex-girlfriend, she was a very strange one. She hated anal, which is strange because she actually kept a stick up her ass for the entire relationship. I also had an ex-girlfriend who would say that I was addicted to porn, but I didn't pay her 99 cents a minute for her opinion. So that's not every joke I had, but that's a pretty good portion of them. I think about 20 minutes worth. So if you like that, just let me know. Everyone stay safe, wash your hands, be kind, and take care.